So in this activity, I'm going to use ChatGPT to create a student worksheet for a PowerPoint I have in an existing class, and then see what ideas it has to move on to the next module in the course. I've copied the PowerPoint, and I'm just going to give it a quick, can you create a student worksheet that goes along with this PowerPoint? Go ahead and pause the recording while I read these results and then come back for a reflection. I think ChatGPT did an excellent job of creating this worksheet. I think there are definitely some edits that I'm going to need to make, like leaving more space for student answers. I like that it gave different types of questions, asking for definitions, asking for some lists that came from the PowerPoint. It even gave me a matching section. And then here at the very end, it asks students to label a diagram, and so it tells me to insert a diagram, so that's something I'm going to have to create, but I really like this worksheet and we'll be using it. I also like that it gives instructor notes, so that's very helpful. I think that it's really important to give students rubrics for every assignment, so my next question is going to be to ask ChatGPT to create a rubric. And I'm going to go ahead and review the rubric that it comes up with and then come back for my feedback. I think this is a really well-developed rubric. It gives students a good understanding of why they would receive the scores that they are receiving. I think the only edit that I would make to this is the grading categories. I usually do a mastery, beginning, developing, and needs improvement. But beyond that, I think this is definitely a rubric that I will use. Now I'm going to ask ChatGPT to go on to the next lesson in this course, which is a powers and control unit, and just kind of look at what kind of lesson plan it thinks I should use for that. So, can you I'm going to go ahead and pause this again and read the results and get back to you. I think ChatGPT did a really good job of an overview of power and control units. The only thing I have included in my course that it did not discuss is speed. So I'm going to ask it to add speed. Maybe make that a little more specific, speed sensors to this unit, and review what it comes up with and be right back. So this lesson is really comprehensive. I like what it did. In the very beginning, it lets me know that I'm going to need a handout for students regarding key diagrams and terminology. So I'm going to go ahead and ask it to make that handout for me. Be right back with my reflection. So the handout it created was more of a guide for student learning, and I was looking for a worksheet for the students to actually complete. So I think what I need to do is change my prompt here to something more like just change my verbiage a little bit so that it's creating that student worksheet. I'll see what it comes up with and be right back. Again, I think it did a good job of mixing the types of questions that students are going to receive with this worksheet, defining concepts. There's a really good matching question that I like, some activity planning, reflection, and then a quiz prep. I like that it came up with the quiz preparation. I haven't seen that before, so I'm going to go ahead and ask it to create the quiz and see what it comes up with. I'm going to ask it to use a mix of multiple choice, short answer, and maybe a case study examination. And let's see what it says. I think the quiz that it created was really, again, comprehensive. Gives me my multiple choice, my short answers, and then the case study was a little short, but I like the questions that it came up with for the scenario that it created. And lastly, I'm just going to ask for, it gave me a grading criteria, but I think I'm going to ask for it to create another rubric for this quiz. So, and then instead of me having to do edits on my grading criteria, I'm going to ask for it to use the grading that I actually use. So with grading criteria of mastered, developing, beginning, and needs improvement. So I actually like this rubric a lot better. It breaks it up by the multiple choice, short answer, and case study examination, still giving students clear grading criteria and a breakdown of points with the headers that I asked for it to include. So these are all assignments and student resources that I could use in this course. Overall, I think that this was a really easy way to give students a broader idea of the concepts that I already introduced using PowerPoint and hands-on activities, just to kind of reinforce that learning and have them take some notes, do some worksheets while they're looking at the content that I already have in the course.